Well, hello there. Welcome to another edition of Language Bites. I'm Cata, your host for these couple of minutes. Please come in. For today, I bring a topic that's pretty much useful. I think I say that to every single video, but that's how language works. Everything is useful as long as you're going to express yourself. Whether you're talking about presentations, that is, you need to explain processes and strategies, or reports and proposals, as in writing formal documents in general, negotiations, why not, when discussing terms and conditions, and meetings, all in all, for planning and setting objectives, you're using this for sure. I'm talking about ing forms and infinitives. So, this may be a rather lengthy video, so please take a seat. Let's begin with ing forms. INGs can work as nouns. That is, we're going to find them as such in places where a noun may be. So, that is, functioning as a subject within the sentence or as an object or a complement. Where the noun could be, we may find these verbs taking that place. Is it a verb? Is it a noun? It's a hybrid. They come from verbs, but they are functioning as nouns. Let's take a look at some examples. Advertising is a creative industry. I can achieve this with any noun. I can say English is an interesting language, right? World peace is something difficult to achieve, definitely, but I'm using nouns. In this case, I'm going for a verb. I'm referring to perhaps an activity, in this case, an industry. They are functioning as nouns, as I said, but they keep, in many cases, of course, it depends on the verb, many of the verbal elements. Meeting lots of people is one benefit of juggling different jobs. I would say here we have two, meeting and juggling. But we're going to leave the case of juggling for later on in the video. If we begin with meeting, of course, we have this verb in the place of a noun, but it also has the elements that usually accompany such a verb. Meeting someone, lots of people. So it keeps an object because it has this verbal nature, but the role in the sentence is that of a noun. That's simply marvelous. Ing forms, of course, can work as adjectives as well, and I'm sure you're pretty familiar with these. As in, working for yourself, another case, can be hard, but very rewarding. Here we find, let's say, the adjective form, what we call present participial phrases or cases. The changing phase of employment means we need to change our attitude to work. Again, changing phase. I am using it as an adjective. I am using it to modify the noun phase. Here we have the case of juggling I mentioned a moment ago. We use them after prepositions. After prepositions in general, we need a noun or something related. Well, here it is. It may be a noun, it may be a pronoun, it may be a verb nominalized, a verb in its ing form in this case. So we say, by working for a range of employers, no one has complete power over you. Or Sam is talking about becoming a career coach. A couple of videos ago, we talked about ellipses. I'm going to leave the link somewhere here. When we talk about ellipses, we said that it's these resources that we use in order to avoid obvious information. One of the tools is the use of ing forms. I can say it's a PR company specializing in advertising instead of it's a PR company that specializes in advertising. Now, both are good. It's a matter of finding your voice but we can do so by means of an ing form. Ing forms are also used for past participle cases, that is, with the auxiliary have. And so I say, having finished her degree, she went on to work as an intern. And of course, we're going to use the ing after certain verbs, as in, she hated working 9 to 5. The career advisors suggested reinventing myself. I recommend setting up your own consultancy, and many others like, love, enjoy, hate, prefer, suggest, recommend. Now, let's talk about the to infinitive. As you know, the to infinitive means that I'm going to put the verb after the preposition, in this case, to. So, or the particle, I'd say. No, not everyone loves to work. Yes, I know the same verb we just mentioned a moment ago that would be followed by the ing. I know some verbs work this way. I try not to look at the clock all the time when I'm working. And then probably the most famous sentence or phrase in the English language, to be or not to be, where we find to. Thank you, Shakespeare. We find this structure in the phrases of it is plus adjective plus to infinitive. For example, it is hard to keep up to speed with all the developments in the industry. It's usual in my country for employees to have a job for life. It's usual to. Of course, we can use this one to express purpose as well. As in, I'm going to check their website to see if they've got any job vacancies, and as well as prepositions, expressions, sorry. There's a price to pay for being your own boss. The company made staff redundant in a bid to survive. A price to pay, a bid to survive. When you're young, you have the freedom to pick and choose any career you want. You're not supposed to change jobs too often. It looks bad on your CV. And then, of course, we are going to find the to infinitive after certain verbs. You need to have a degree to apply for this post. Your parents seemed to have it easier than us when they were young. And some other verbs that are followed by the to infinitive include decide, want, need, hope, expect, be able, afford, seem, and appear. Let's go with the infinitive without to, what we call the bare infinitive. The bare infinitive appears especially after modal verbs. You might change jobs in the near future. When you work as a freelance, you can't say no to anything. And last, it's worth mentioning the changes in meaning that we may come across. I'm going to provide examples of each case, and I'm sure you're going to spot the difference. I started working for the company when I was 23. I've started to send my CV on spec to prospective employers. Stop doing that whilst I'm working. It's annoyed me. Why don't we stop now to have a break? I remember working as a waitress when I was at college. Remember to switch off the computer before you leave. Try changing the way you begin your letter. Try to make an impact when you begin your letter. So, these structures can function as nouns, as adjectives. We may find them after verbs, prepositions, or expressions, and in many cases, they carry different meanings. So, now you know. Make, as always, practice makes perfect. So, make sure to follow the link on the description box to access two activities on today's topic. And if you'd like to see more videos such as this one, please stay around and explore our page. All right. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.